I am boosted Bonobo. No, I'm kidding. I'm still Sean Minbung Shannon, who just has a computer who decided to randomly turn off. And he is still Nolan Django Unchained McCoy. He's the real McCoy. Don't y'all know?
One and only.
He's going to be filling me in while I wait for the spectate to happen for the stream. But I will be able to cast as it goes on. So,
All right, when we had the second round of the ban phase, Team Solo Feed banned Lucian and Ari, while Chase Squad banned Diana and Zaya.
alright.
Um, Jirachi went ahead and picked up Tristana, while Baba Booey picked up Ram. And Piper, everybody says is, but I love the fact that it's Piper is ISIS.
Yes.
If that's it or not, I don't care.
Piper is ISIS for sure. Confirmed on stream.
He picked up Sivir, while Advanel picked up Janna.
Okay, so Sivir, Janna versus Braum Tristana, and technically, if we're gonna look at just like the champions in general, if you ever go on to the Sivir with your exploding charge, uh, Sivir can time that with her spell shield pretty easily, so it's kind of a small counter. Also, while Tristana is known for pushing quite heavily with her explosive shot passive, um, that Janna Sivir lane is gonna be really really hard to be pushing against. So I I'd need to see who the junglers are for both sides. I knew it was Gragas. Who did they choose on the side of Chase Squad?
Maokai.
So we have a Malachi Galio top lane with an Azir. So huge team fight coming out from Chase Squad. Absolutely massive team fight. If they're around even footing around 25 minutes into the game, um, I don't see, even without seeing the champion select, how Chase Squad can lose a straight 5v5 team fight played front to back. But what's the team composition for um, Team Solo Feed?
All right, in the top lane, we have Garfield Juice on Cho'Gath, Bounty 10-12 on Gragas in the jungle. In the mid lane, we have Sifon on Kog'Maw. ADC, we have Jirachi on Tristana. And playing support, we have Baba Booey on Braum.
So from front to back on there, obviously a lot more uh, disengage and not necessarily straight up team fight, but it's gonna be really hard to siege against them. Both teams have excellent wave clear with the Kog'Maw and Tristana, and Sivir by herself can be wave clear for a team, but you add the Azir, that fear isn't that what who's the mid laner for Chase Squad tonight?
Elucida.
Okay, so we got Hansu in the mid lane playing Azir. It's gonna be interesting. Azir has gotten some recent buffs. I don't know if it's anything to really thrust him all the way. I'm gonna be spectating now. So as the you're at 35 seconds on the spectator delay.
I am now at 30.
Okay, I'm gonna be like a second or two behind you when I'm doing these play-by-plays. Um,
With the mid lane matchup, both of them are going to be farming for items.
yeah,
Um,
obviously, yeah, no real early game pressure there. Who would you give it to going from just overall team comp, and who do you think is going to win this game and why?
uh, First impression is Team Solo Feed. They have a very protective carry comp
Hmm.
with the with three frontliners being Cho'Gath, Gragas, and Braum. Uh, Sivan, all he's going to be doing is he's just be sitting in the back. Um, I don't know the name of his R, but he's just going to be dropping those artillery strikes, and because he's going to go AP.
Hmm. Yeah, Bioarcane
And
Barrage in the back
you
line.
mentioned before that they have a lot of disengage, which is true, but at the same time they have a strong engage as well with Braum. Uh, I think it's Glacial Rupture, or
The Braum,
I'll
the
figure out in a minute.
Glacial Fissure.
Glacial Fissure, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting Cho'Gath and Braum combined.
Yeah, you are. Now that would be a broken champion, but we are into the game right now. I am 10 seconds, 11, 12, 13.
Yep, same time.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna see probably some standard level ones as we usually do here in PMA LCS. Um, Again, it is Team Solo Feed with Garfield Juice, Bounty, 1012, C-Van, Jirachi ADC, Baba Booey, and Coach Nobody on the blue side. Uh, and on the red side, we have Xanacus, Musicus in the top lane on Galio, Guy Fury in the jungle on Malachi, Elucida, Hanzo, Azir in the mid lane. Piper is Isis on the Sivir, which is fitting since she's kind of like a Middle Eastern uh, champion from the Sands. Lol. Um, Supporting her King of Shurima from the mid lane. And then Adonimvel playing the e-girl Diamond 5 cosplay of Janna for the red side with Coach Sean Min Shannon, who's not available for some reason tonight. Kappa, I'm not actually their coach. Uh, they wouldn't be this bad if I was. No, I'm kidding. I'm flaming them. Sorry.
Now, something I would have loved to see was an invade by Team Solopede, especially with Braum level 1. If they get those 4 stacks off, you're going to have to force a flash out of Chase Squad.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that. Although I think the Janna probably didn't level up anything just quite yet. No, leveled up shield level 1. Up. Typical Janna players pressing E every 7 seconds. Uh, So we just see some standard jungle starts. Malachi will be doing his own leash with the saplings. It took a little bit of a hit in the jungle in the most recent patch, but pretty sure he'll be just fine, as the mid lane is most likely going to be a farm fest until he puts about 3 points into that Void Ooze for C-Van, and then he can most likely just clear the wave and possibly try to find ways to roam. Uh, it's going to be really interesting to see where the junglers put priority, because if you're the opposing jungler for either team, every lane has some kind of CC, whether it's the Janna Tornado or the concussive blows in the bot lane. Mid lane's just kind of be a shove fest, so whichever one pushes faster may be getting ganked. And in the top lane, Galio's a little bit more reliable CC than the Cho'Gath, but both of these junglers probably won't mind just, you know, taking it really easy, farming up to level 6, and then really getting their power spikes, as we have our first pause of the game. Man, we're going truly LCS here. And by the way, chat has said if you would mind turning up your microphone, that'd be fantastic.
For me?
Yes.
Okay, I can just
I've tried
speak
turning.
louder.
Yeah, I've tried turning you up on my end, but I don't want it to be like deafening in my ear.
I gotcha.
Cause like
Go
I
ahead
can.
and take a look at my settings.
Yeah. As I don't know why the pause has happened. Maybe technical difficulties. Maybe someone need to use the John. We don't know. All right, let's see if I can take the target frame off.
All right, hopefully that fixes things.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just see how that keeps on going as we're still in the pause. Yeah, you pull the mic a little bit away though, or at least when you breathe from your nose, I only get the air tunnel. Spaghetti and
Well,
meatballs are. Looks like we're probably ready. But I just saw one ready in the chat. If we're looking at team composition wise, take the side of Team Solo Feed. Tell me what you think they need to do to win this game from early going into the mid game.
I think jungle needs to either focus mid or bot lane, prioritize objectives, and because no matter what, Cho'Gath is going to scale. And really, you want to focus on your carries instead of your front line.
Yeah, I would say I understand that point. If we're talking about going to the late game, though, I think I briefly mentioned it, but on a straight 5v5 team fight and just a true scaling battle, I'm going to give it to Chase Squad. the late game Sivir in team fights, unlike the Tristana has to point and click on specific champions. Sivir will be doing a lot of damage just by pressing W. Uh, Also, a Cho'Gath can be easily kited, as there is a gank top lane. The Xanathus Musician, he gets the taunt down. Bounty Hunter takes two turret shots, but has to burn his flash so he doesn't die. One more auto attack from Bounty or Garfield Juice would have sealed first blood for him, but as it stands, it's just a summoner spell loss, and most likely a TP advantage. As Guy Fieri goes bot lane, goes underneath the tower, Bramble smashes down, and no summoners burn right there. A little bit too early right there, as we just see more trading in the mid lane. Sivan getting Thunderlord proc onto Lucida in the mid lane. Just a little bit of trades back and forth. Overall, if a little bit of advantage to Team Solo Feed with the Summoner spell burned in top lane, as Xanathus is deciding to stay. Uh, and
So
Piper,
I went back and looked at the at that gank top lane. Xanathus Musicus got out with 15 health.
15 health. Well, like I said, one auto attack from either one of those guys, or just maybe even just extra auto attack earlier, or extra red buff proc. Who knows? Unfortunately, it didn't come out that way for Team Solo Feed, and we just still stand at pretty much even gold, only about 150 gold difference, 200 as it stands right now. As there's CS leads, excuse me, in all lanes for Team Solo Feed right now. Which I feel like all that's kind of normal, as Sivan takes a big chunk, probably going to be forced to back, as Gragas is showing mid lane. He still has flash. Right there, onto him. Has to burn the flash right there. Guy Fieri, double flashes burn for one of Guy Fieri, but overall it's an equal summoner trade down. Lucida probably didn't need a flash. He still had his barrier available, but probably just wanted to save that, as Janna gets stunned up, has to burn flash. Flash is being blown everywhere. Little trades back and forth everywhere. Um, we've hit full solo queue right now, boys. It's just going crazy and crazy. Silence to cancel the channel of the taunt on Garfield Juice, which is a nice little interaction that you can do to where you can probably stop the taunt of Galio prematurely for him. And he's been landing these ruptures, but again, just still about only 1,000 gold lead. I mean, 100 gold lead. There's no 1,000 yet.
Now on the side of Team Solo Feed, there are only 2 flashes that are down in the jungle and mid lane, while in Chase Squad, you have top lane flash down, jungle flash down, mid lane flash down, and support flash down.
Yeah, so if definitely with the side of the summoner spells overall going in the favor of Team Solo Feed, if I'm Guy Fieri right now, I'm looking towards that mid lane. A mid lane Kog'Maw is so very easy to gank, because I can't say the word I was trying to say. And you also have Maokai, who's a point and click. You don't have to line up a flash body slam or just a regular body slam. And Azir after that can Shurima shuffle in, as Piper misses the spell shield to try to get some mana back. And then just Shurima shuffle him into there. He's going to have no way out. He'll have to burn his heal at least. As I say that, both junglers are meeting towards the mid lane with fighting for control over that Scuttle Crab. But this is the time where I feel like, even though maybe Team Solo Feed feel like they have the advantage, Chase Squad needs to make a play happen. As they're still fighting over that Scuttle Crab, and Guy Fieri smites it away, but Garfield Juice has come down. Bounty tries to body slam, misses, and he just walks away, meowkaiing away. As Sivan continues to push Hanzu into the mid lane. Janna Tornado in the bot lane. Piper is Isis. Keeps on hitting him with the W. No concussive blow stack hit 4 on the Janna for Jirachi. They've got a pretty decent gold lead, about 11 CS gold lead right here, as Piper is just having a little bit of trouble as he continues to get pushed in under tower. All the arcade noises happening that I don't know what they mean, but what's going on here? As we possibly will see first tower be going down bot lane if this continues. Piper using the spell shield to avoid the damage to get a little bit of his mana back as well. Um, and Bounty picks up his blue buff right now. Overall, still just a 200 gold lead, mainly just built off of the CS leads in mid and bot, with top lane finally coming out ahead of right now for the Galio, which is most likely what is expected. Guy Fieri's now hit level 6, probably going to be looking to take the Blast Cone over for this bot lane as he uses the Scryer's Bloom, but it sees no wards, didn't use it bot, he used it towards the dragon. Double pink ward coverage for the Kog'Maw mid is huge with his flash being down still, and Guy Fieri using the ult onto Bounty right there, realizes that Sivan is roaming first because Azir's pushed in, question mark ping comes out, hey Hansu, why didn't you follow up? Oh hey man, I got this whole giant wave mid, I'm really weak, and I'm at half health. Most likely comms going in there, I don't know, I know Eric. Good thing about having a Azir though, you can safely clear most of those wards mid lane, trying to give him less things as Alicita has to burn it. Oh, misses the ult, and first blood comes out for Sivan in the mid lane. Oh, Hansu.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he missed. If he would have stepped one iota back, he probably would have gotten the Kog'Maw to be in tower range. Also would have had him without his flash. Could have probably gotten a return kill and a summoner advantage from it, but as it stands, it's first blood to the scaling Kog'Maw. As he's going to chomp, no, he flashes away Zanica's music right there. Pretty scary stuff right there. As he only has a, oh, I forget the item's name. Null Magic Mantle, excuse me, to his name, as he's probably going to be going for an Abyssal Mask for the first item with so much AP on the side of Team Solo Feed, as Gragas seems to be going Runic Echoes, which is very atypical for the meta that we're in right now.
With the Runic Echoes, it gives him a lot of early pressure. However, that will probably just be his only AP item that he picks up.
Yeah, Jirachi taking a bunch of chunk damage bot, but still coming out to almost a 14 CS lead in the bot lane. Really wanting to see some pressure from Guy Fieri. He tried to get that gank mid, burnt his ultimate on a possible kill on Bounty, but then didn't have any support from his mid laner as his mid laner was farming under tower. So a little bit of lack of communication from the side of Chase Squad. And to your point, while it will help him out early and probably trying to secure some kills, I think that Cinderhulk 1 is just cheaper, better for him as someone who right now is 400 gold down, as Xanacus misses his charge on his E onto Garfield. Bounty's up top, he says the pink ward's not worth it. But overall, we were talking about this double as the barrel comes in, and most likely Xanacus is going to be going down. Bounty gets the kill. It's 2-0 for the side of Team Solo Feed as Guy Fieri is trying to get something going down, uses his ult, roots the Braum, gets the Glacial Fisher down, gets stunned underneath turn, has to burn flash. Will Jirachi flash? Piper is Isis, goes in, flashes in, uses the Buster Shot on the Janna. Overall, just a bunch of summoners burned. Double summoners burned on the side of Tristana though, but she does have that way to escape. So 2 summoners on each side, but all together, just a way trying to answer. It seems like guys always coming down when they're not pushed up. They've been pushed up almost the entire lane, but every time he's coming down, it's just at an inopportune time for his team to follow up if they don't just give it away naturally. As we come to a 1.5 gold lead at 12 minutes into the game right now, and if you're Team Solo Feed, this is going well for you. Like you said, they want to scale. It's going to be a little bit different with having the Gragas not as tanky as he can be come mid to late game, but Azir's still farming up, Galio's still farming up. Sivir's going to get her item breakpoints once she gets her 3 item spike, but Oh, Jirachi picking up the Infinity Edge going against the BF Sword Pickaxe. It's going to be a tough lane if it wasn't already for Piper's Isis and Janna in the bot lane. And as it stands right now, Cho'Gath is sitting on 5 feast stacks. He's only nommed minions right now, so he still has those to. He has one more that he can use in lane. But after that, he's just gonna need to farm either the dragon or some epic monsters or champions to fully use the power that is Cho'Gath in Dispatch on 7.17. I believe is what we're on right now.
16.
16. All right. Well, I'm boosted. As there is some trading go down the mid lane. Bounty is almost dead. Has to fly away. Directed camera is trolling me as I guess Bounty gets away. Garfield, does he have the nom up? No, he does not. Zanuck is just getting bullied in this lane. Absolutely. But he does have the catalyst, so whenever he is able to go get that early level up, he'll be able to do it. Piper, nice little spell shield on the first Q right there. Garfield Juice almost has the ulti, but it's taking a couple of tower shots as he just goes in right there, gets going up. He chomps, and the silence, and Garfield Juice getting the kill underneath tower, using the Righteous Glory active to just charge right in there, saying, I'm a honey badger, I don't give no fucks about no damn tower. 3-0 for the side of Team Solo Feed, which basically off the back of some solo plays or some solo mistakes on the side of Chase Squad have just come out to this 2,000 gold lead right here. As bot tower has been pressed in a lot, but not much damage to show for it, as Piper's Isis gets a huge chunk on Jirachi. As Bounty looks to try to make a play mid, but he's seen on a ward. The cast goes out. Elucida has to flash. Gets there, does his barrier. Is he going to get the return kill? Yes, he does. And Sivan somehow resets tower aggro, burns the flash. Guy Fieri is going to chase onto him, but the Voidies will slow him down enough to where most likely he can get away. Guy Fieri still chasing, though. He has Moby Boots once they kick back in, but he decides to lead the chase as Garfield Juice is going to get first tower in the top lane. That's a huge chunk of gold going over there solo to Cho'Gath in the top lane. And we're now at almost a 3.5k gold lead for the side of Team Solo Feed. Any thoughts that you have on the game's pace so far and how everything's going? What you'd like to see from either team?
I mean, bot lane's turning out kind of how I expected it. Cho'Gath is going to scale, but I would like to see more pressure out of Guy Fieri in the mid lane. Elucida is doing fine, farming, trying to stay safe, whatever, but with Seaman's flash down now, this is the time that they need to try and make some plays, get the Azir ahead, and just try to get Azir to snowball a bit.
Yeah, and we have to mention, I believe that Piper's Isis is technically not their normal AD carry. Chase Squad is having a lot of subs this week and switching positions around. I know that for a fact that Guy Fieri is usually their top laner and the Azir is usually their jungler. I guess they're just trying to switch some stuff around. They might be the new Team Liquid as opposed to the Team Envy that I quoted you earlier with, but we'll see how they go come mid-game, because if they hit their item spikes, this almost 3,000 gold lead, 3.5k gold lead right now won't mean much come late game, because if you can get a Rylai's on the Azir, you can kite out almost indefinitely as Sivan just explodes Hansu in the mid lane. Probably not expecting the damage from that Ludens and the Sork shoes, but that's just some massive damage.
Transitioning right to Dragon.
Yep, as Guy Fieri is getting caught out by Garfield Juice. He gets a Rupture down. He's probably going to try to land the silence here shortly. He doesn't have the Nom available, but Galio is coming down and can join. He could use his ultimate if he chooses, but he's just walking down and deciding not to ult this entire time, which causes Guy Fieri to burn his flash. Uh, as Garfield flashes over, almost has Nam available to him. Xanakis, he lands the rupture and is probably going to get the kill onto Guy Fieri. It is not looking good as the whole team solo feed has rotated to the top lane. Xanakis barely gets out. Bounty uses the exploding cask, gets him out. Bounty also gets the kill as he's taking one more tower shot. He's so lucky that he was able to get out right there. As it is, it's a 7-1 kill lead and a 5.5 gold lead, transitioning from a dragon, 2 kills, and now the Rift Herald, as Cvan is trying to just poke him out with the Biocane Barrage, getting really gritty, just taking a bunch of attacks on their tower, burns his heal, barely survives. That's fairly tilting. If you're Hansu, you thought you could probably outplay him, but didn't want to risk going in and getting auto-attacked to death as Guy Fieri right there throwing the sapling. Unfortunately, they don't do damage upon landing anymore, as Piper's Isis has had some free time during all of this to farm. Still 21 CS down. Finally got his eye edge, but it's just looking really rough right now for Chase Squad. It seems like they just never stop fighting right now as Bounty gets caught in the jungle. No one else there to follow up for Xanakis. Jirachi is huge right now in terms of item completion compared to his counterpart, and this AP Kog'Maw in the mid lane is just going to have to position really well, and I think he'll may have the front line like you were talking about with Baba Booey and Garfield Juice, but they need to press this advantage, because if they just wait it out and scale and say that they have the late game, I think they're going to be fooling themselves. Couple key item completions on the side of Team Solo Feed. We have the Ludens completed and the Sork Shoes as mentioned before. He's almost done with his Archangel staff, I believe. His tier is more than 3/4 complete as Garfield Juice is waiting in the bot and is going to go in right here, try to land the rupture. No, gets away. 4-man bot. As it's about to be a 5-man bot with Cvan roaming up towards the blue buff. By himself though, as a Kog'Maw, doesn't see anybody. Oh, runs into Guy Fieri, gets rooted, and just does it get taken out? No, he flashes away, uses the blast cone. Hanzu pushing him away towards the blast cone could have secured a kill as bot lane goes down. All in all, you had to burn the flash of the Kog'Maw and give away your bottom tier 1 turret. So all tier 1 towers are now down, with Herald still being available to use. As Piper tries to re-engage a little bit onto Jirachi, Guy Fieri is here. Exploding Cast goes out. Nom on the wood tree. Who knew that Cho'Gath was a vegetarian? As Garfield is just massive and huge and trying to do as much damage as he can. Jirachi goes down as Piper lands 2 crits in a row on him. Elucida does not have his ult. And unfortunately, it looks like it's just going to be almost a whitewash over here, as Garfield is probably going to try to take him down. Too tanky for the Galio and the untanky Bounty to take him down, as Cvan continues to push the mid lane as they use Herald bot lane now, trying to get 2 towers off of this as Xanakis continues to fight Herald. Most likely just using this. I thought Team Solo Feed was going to stay, but they're just going to take the blue buff off of this and kind of waste Herald's ability to try to take one of these other tier 2 towers. Overall, a lot of kills going the way of Team Solo Feed, and the blue buff, it seems, as Bounty just secures it. Guy Fieri going in alone. Probably just really angry that he had his blue buff taken away from him. Janna's shield going to save him from any Biocane barrage that Cvan has. Janna is right there at the wrong place, wrong time. Gets knocked up by the rupture. He has Nam available. Cho'Gath is 1v4ing at this point, and I am not joking. Piper is Isis, gets almost obliterated, but he spell shields the Nam. Very nice Tom, but Cvan takes him out with a Biocane barrage. Probably pretty hyped about his play. Didn't even see the Biocane barrage, and Team Solo Feed is just pushing their advantage, like we just talked about maybe 3 minutes ago when I was the last time I stopped talking. As there's just been non-stop action ever since. Pressuring down this tier 2 turret in the bot lane. Not long for this world. Probably just need one more wave. There's a huge wave in the top lane. Pressure for team solo feed.
I
Taking the
still
bot.
think that Chase Squad can turn it around. However, they need to stop having these unnecessary fights. Which is going to be hard because
Yeah, when you.
Team Solo Feed, they're making sure that they're fighting them.
Yeah, I feel like on the side of Chase Squad, they both sides had as Cvan is just dominating right now, 6-0 and 2 on this AP Kog'Maw in the mid lane, sitting on 3.1k gold right now. Garfield Juice is going to take him down. Oh, Jirachi, excuse me, gets the credit right there. 2, 1, and 3. Taking down this bot lane inhibitor around 24 minutes into the game is pretty big right now. They do have a small minion wave mid lane, probably going to try to rotate there, get as much damage on that as they can, as Cloud Drake is the only Drake that's up right now. But if there's a time to fight, it is right now for Chase Squad. Um, I also don't believe I've seen Galio use an ult all game. Not that he's had any opportunities except for what we saw in the top lane, but uh, for a champion who can provide so much pressure around the map, Xanakis has not been using the champion to its utmost effectiveness. I do agree with you. If Chase Squad can probably stall out for another 10 minutes and make this gold lead, which is now a almost 13,000 gold lead, get down as they try to catch out Bounty, who has to burn his flash and gets away on the blast cone as Guy Fieri gets away on his ult. If they can just kind of mitigate their losses right now, probably stop the. You probably can't stop the Baron, but if you can get like a Baron still, um, that would probably be the best way of getting in. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough sledding for these guys, who are still barely building any magic resist with this fed Kog'Maw, who is about to complete his death cap here within a couple hundred gold. And Cho'Gath has Warmogs. He's almost unkillable at this point as he goes and uses the Righteous Glory, finds Anika's music, is probably going to nom him to death if Jirachi doesn't get the kill. He flashes out, Janna ults away everyone, Azir kiting everybody. Piper is front lining right now, Shurima shuffle use coming out right there. Guy Fury is just stuck in the middle. No one dies except for Jirachi somehow. Probably getting a little bit too forward using his rocket jump to go in as Azir was able to stand in the back line and just deal some good damage. And as I stand corrected again, Galio did go down during that fight eventually, probably from a shot from Jirachi. As they push onto this mid lane inhibitor just to get more pressure, Azir turret goes down in the mid lane. Guy Fieri goes in. It doesn't seem like anyone is following him at this moment. Cvan is godlike on this Kog'Maw as Guy Fieri was just there, and look at that. Azir is just basically scratching Cho'Gath's back right now. He does little to no damage to him. As they'll probably set up for the Baron now as they wait for these two lanes of super minions to go in.
I know that picking up Morellonomicon is a must for mid laners. However, Lucina really needs to get his Rylai's because he needs to be able to get his soldiers in, slow them, and help heal for his team.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Now, I will say on the side of Chase Squad, I do question the choice of Moby Boots from Guy Fieri. I don't think it's a bad choice, but given how he didn't apply much more, if not any more pressure than the Gragas in the early game, still sticking. Now the Moby Boots kind of look questionable since he wasn't able to gank any lanes. Also, I'm not a mid lane player, but I think it is still the norm to take Berserker's Greaves on the Azir as opposed to the Sork Shoes. All that being said, I think Stinger is also just still a great item on him, but you're right, as we talked about earlier, as Guy Fieri goes in onto Cvan, Piper is Isis tries to help him out. They're almost locked him up. Can he focus down and get a crit on him? Piper is not even able to focus anything. Probably doesn't have W up. And Garfield noms the tree again. He loves his
Now at
vegetables.
10 stacks.
He is massive at 5-0 and 7. He has a Gargoyle Stone Plate, Righteous Glory, and a Warmogs. Still sitting at a slight CS lead as Steven nearly goes down to the tower. Tower aggro, please, Riot. Garfield Juice gonna get kind of chunked out. Bounty, see, this is the problem. If this goes any later, if this goes to 35 minutes and Bounty has to be a main source of engage, he's going to get bopped by not going um, Cinderhulk right there. Even Azir, who's not that far ahead right now, is just shredding him. With that being said, he's probably not going to get punished if this continues this way, as we're still 2 inhibitors down and an open inhibitor in the top lane, as the bot lane inhibitor will be respawning soon. And we're sitting at almost a 14,000 and a half gold lead for Team Solo Feed, which you think, okay guys, let's just go Baron. Let's get this done. We have Cho'Gath. We can get him another stack and then just kind of push mid and top lane. Kog'Maw, about to complete his Void Staff, does have his Saris Embrace finished, and his his Rabadon's Death Cap, and as of right now, he is sitting at 606 AP, where there is only the Abyssal Max and Spirit Visage completed for the Galio in the top lane, which he has no armor, so Jirachi will just destroy him, and barely any MR coming out from the Maokai as well for Guy Fury, as they're just taking this down. Probably going to be able to nom it around 3,000. Here's the 2,000 mark, and he just noms it at the very last second. Kind of risky when it comes to that. Guy Fury sending out his kitty cats to go take a look. Xanakis goes in. They're deciding to fight this without possibly their strongest member in the Sivir for team fights. I don't know if they just didn't communicate that. Guy Fury strategically, you might say, as Azir starts just doing a bunch of damage, but then gets destroyed by Sivan. Garfield's Juice is also dominating. They're probably trying to fight each other for MVP for this game. This is probably going to be it. Sivir has a great wave clear, but she doesn't have super powered 5v2 wave clear at this point in the game, being down 3,000 gold right now. And it looks like with 31 minutes on the clock, Team Solo Feed will be taking down Chase Squad in this first game of this best of 2. Jirachi gets his last kill right there and is going to make it a ace for Sivan right there. GG Team Solo Feed. Here's the poll, guys. I can do a correct command in this chat. Thank you very much. So the poll for MVP voting is up right now, and if we just want to start talking about how Team Solo Feed got this lead, if you want to take over and just start talking about how they got to where they were, and who do you feel like deserves the MVP voting right now?
So starting it off, Kog'Maw in the mid lane. Going AP Kog'Maw, his damage cannot be underestimated, and I think that's what happened a few times when Alcida tried to duel him. While Alcida on the Azir is able to apply a lot of burst at once, at the same time, so can Sivan on Kog'Maw. When he spits out his Void Ooze, pre-6, he's trying to whittle him down, and then once Kog'Maw hits 6, you have to be careful because his Living Artillery applies more damage each time it's fired, and I believe it also has an execute on it. So Sivan was able to actually take care of his early game by getting, I think he got a kill pre-6, and that allowed him to snowball more. And then with Sivan starting to snowball, Bounty was able to apply pressure into other lanes, early ganks for Garfield Juice, which allowed Garfield Juice to start snowballing on the Cho'Gath, and it, they applied their pressure into other lanes. They put the gold into the other lanes with their lead, not just monopolizing it.
Yeah, I do agree that Kog'Maw, obviously, Kog'Maw, AP Kog'Maw will always do AP Kog'Maw things. The damage chart, he's obviously going to be the top of it, with Jirachi followed closely by Garfield Juice in the top lane. Azir did do some good damage as well, but it takes him just a little bit too long to come out and start doing that damage that they really needed him to do on the side of Chase Squad. Um, if I'm the one giving the MVP vote here, I'm actually just going to give it to Garfield Juice. Um, you could say that it was Xanakis not trying to find plays or not pushing his wave clear advantage most likely in the top lane, or just Garfield keeping him there and keeping him low to where he couldn't find plays around the map. Garfield getting, he had that one early help gank from Bounty that blew the flash of Xanakis, the Galio. It didn't really amount to much after that, since there was no kill put on that, and then Garfield just kind of took the advantage that he made for himself after that gank and just dove in for a tower, which resulted in first blood tower, and he was just a massive monster that nobody could deal. So no disrespect to Sivan or Jirachi for the work that they did. They played their team fights well. Sivan obviously getting that first blood kill was huge, even though I would question the play of Elucida of going for that um, right then and there. Also, probably not prioritizing ganking the flashless Kog'Maw as early as you can, though it was double pink warded on each side of the map, so it's a little bit tough. So no disrespect to Chase Squad, but Garfield Juice just massively ahead. He's only 500 gold down from the Tristana, who almost Flame Horizoned him when it comes to their own team. But we're going to take a short break here. We'll be right back with Chase Squad versus Team Solo Feed Game 2.